Hello friends, I'm Shelly Clough and today is day 3 of Watercolor Christmas tags and we are going to be painting these cute little tree tags. I will walk you through my supplies and then we will dive into the tutorial. I have my paint palette here, it's all linked below all the colors that I use, and I'm going to be using Canson XL watercolor paper, just a normal pad, and what I do is I take a sheet of it and then I punch with a punch like this. I punch some tag shapes out of it. So I just slide it over the paper, make a little punch, and out pops my tag. And now I'm ready to go. I will link this punch and the other punches that I use down below if you want to use them yourself. I'm also going to be using a hole punch, some twine, and one of my black velvet silver brushes. This is a size 6. I like a brush for these trees because it has this nice fine tip on it, which is really helpful for getting these petite little trees. So I'm just going to scoot these up and out of the way. We'll go ahead and paint some trees. So the trees, you can see here, there's sort of a variety of tones that I've done these in the past, and so you don't have to do it one specific color. I like to make sure it is a deep and rich color. So some of these, like this one, would be more like a viridian green mixed with some burnt umber. This one is more of an indigo color. So I think I might do something kind of in between those. I've got viridian and some burnt umber, and then I'm going to add a little bit of indigo to make it a little bit bluer. And then also I'm going to keep going with the burnt umber. I don't want it to be too vibrant. I like it to be a little bit mellow so that it feels more organic, you know, like real trees in the forest. So I'm just getting that color where I like it, and I think I'm okay with that right there. So the first thing I'm going to do when I do trees like this, you'll notice a few things on the tags I've already done. I have my trees, they're all, at least on the bottom, they all make contact, and they are all different heights. So you can see some are smaller, some are taller, and I like to have that variety. It helps it look just a little more balanced. So I usually start with one of my taller ones. I just make skinny little lines for placing my trees. So like super skinny. See how thin that is? And then I'll do a littler one next to it over here. And then I'm just trying to stagger the heights of these. And you can stagger the distance as well. So maybe you want to put two really close to each other. Make that almost as tall as that second one. So they're sort of my lines that are going to help me to place my trees. And when it comes to painting little pine trees, there's a few tricks that I want to show you. One of them is when you start your tree, and this is something I see in my in-person classes all the time, you want to leave just a little bit of the very top of the tree is just the line. We're not going to add any marks to it. So that very top skinny little line, it's sort of that top of the tree that's a little bit bare. So for example, on this one, I'm going to come just a little bit from the top and make just a couple little marks, little like back and forth sort of swooshing motions. And then I'm going to continue downward. And what I'm trying to do is leave little bits of white space as I come. And I want this to very slowly start to come down in kind of a triangular shape, but quite slowly. So the top here, those marks are really small still. And in the middle, kind of, you can always make it wider, but you can't make it smaller. And so I like to start nice and thin, and then I can always make it a little bigger if it's too small. So this middle section here, there's not much variation. As I get to the bottom, I can make it a little bit wider, and then I will take that all the way to the bottom of the tag here. It's like the trees are disappearing out of view. And then while that's still wet, just kind of along that center point, I'm going to tap a little extra color. So there is my first little tree. Isn't it cute? Okay, now I can fill in the next trees. So I'm just going to do, again, that kind of swooshing, tapping. It's kind of scumbling. If you've seen me talk about scumbling in other tutorials, we're trying to get a textured look and make sure we have some white space in there. That's like the sky showing between the branches of our trees. Really important to try to keep that in there. And then we're gonna keep going along here. So again, you can see that I'm leaving just that little bit at the top of all these trees. And you don't want it too long. It will look a little funny, you know, if you don't start till down here, or if you start too wide. Like if you were to start like this, your tree is gonna look really off balance. But if you start up here and really slowly taper it down, then you get that nice little triangular effect. So just sort of tapping, scratching that brush across. And I want them all to sort of meet up with each other at the bottom to give that forest feel, like a thick grove of trees where you can see their cute little tops peeking through the sky, but at the base they sort of all merge together. Going back and forth, and then I'm just going to tap a little extra pigment at the base of these. And I'm just going to take that all the way to the edges. All right, so now a couple little tricks that you can do once you've painted your trees, or at any point you need to adjust them. You can always make them a little bit taller. So you just go up with your, make another little mark and kind of redo some of the treeness, and you're just going to follow that same gradient downward. And this one, I actually feel like it needs just a little more. So the first couple marks are almost like little dots. Okay, and then I'm going to make this one taller too, just to kind of balance things out, and this one a little bit taller as well. So some little tweaks are kind of easy to fix your trees if they start getting out of hand at all. Okay, so now we get to do splatter, which gives us this fun snowfall effect. So I'm just going to scoot these finished tags out of the way so I don't splatter them. And I'm going to take the same color green I've been working with and really swirl my brush in there. So it's all loaded up. I'm going to come and tap that brush on my finger to make the paint come off of there. Maybe again. This is always such a fun part of the process. Okay, and there are my little splatters. Now I'm going to let that dry for a second while I wipe off my surface, and then we will put the tassel on this tag. Okay, so here is my dry tag. I'm just going to hole punch it with this punch and just try to have that right in the middle there. And then I'll get a little bit of this twine, maybe about 6 to 8 inches of it. And then to put my twine on the tag, I will fold it in half and take the side with the loop, and I just stuff that through the hole that I've made. Okay, and then I have my loop and my tails. I'm just going to stick the tails through the loop and pull it tight. And now I can tie this tag onto my presents. I can write my to and from on the back of it, and I have my cute little watercolor gift tag. So I hope you are enjoying this series. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you catch the rest of the series. I will put these all in a playlist as well, so they're easy to follow. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next video.